Y'all do. Seriously, y'all do. '78, you should know better than that. Shouts out to my brother 78. But he gotta know better than that. He beat a fighter. I'm not gonna dislike Errol Spence because Errol beat Kell Brook. How would that look on me? How would that look? Oh, Errol beat Kell Brook, and you picked Kell Brook to win. I'm like, yeah, I did, but Kell was broken down going into the fight. We know that. He was weight drained. We knew that. So he beat a Kell Brook that was coming all off. So again, what conversation are we having here? Oh, well, I knew they weren't gonna put out any notifications for the video. I knew that because you're talking about Errol Spence. See how they blocking everything now? They don't want nobody to talk the truth. That's not part of it. They want you to keep going along with the lie. That man asking for 60-40 to fight Terrence Crawford is him saying, I don't want the fight. Pricing yourself out of the fight is the same as ducking a fight. And for somebody to say that, oh, he need to just go on and accept that 40%, man, and go and take that little cut. I'm like, 78, come on, man, that's ridiculous. Why would Terrence Crawford fight for 40% and he can make way more than that fighting somebody else? That's sad. No. Not gonna watch another black man get robbed by another black man. No. Well, the thing that gets me is quite simple. It's a simple process. For me, I don't understand why it's so hard for everybody else to understand. They can't tell me. I asked them a simple question. Who has Errol Spence beat at welterweight to demand 60-40? You know what they say? Oh, who is Terrence Crawford beat though? Terrence Crawford ain't beat nobody. He fought a guy named War Machine. Who did Errol Spence beat to demand 60-40? That's what I want to know. Who? Carlos Ocampo? You forget that fight? That was only 4 fights ago. He fought a bum named Carlos Ocampo in Dallas Stadium. Carlos Ocampo? Are we serious right now? Is that what we finna do? We finna do Carlos Ocampo? And then, let's not forget, ever since Carlos Ocampo, he comes back with Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, and Danny Garcia. One of those guys are welterweight. The other two are from 140 and 135. Now, again, I ask the question once more. What has he done? To demand that split? 60-40? Are we literally finna talk 60-40 right now? Because I'm not seeing it, fam. I'm not seeing a 60-40 split. Where is he so much better than Bud at, as far as opponents? Terrence Crawford is the lineal welterweight champion of the world. Since Floyd retired, Manny Pacquiao was that champion at welterweight. Manny Pacquiao lost the horn. Terrence Crawford moved up. His first fight at welterweight was for the championship. He won the title. Errol Spence keeps moving the goalposts. He said, oh, if you get a title, I'll fight you. You don't have a title at welterweight. Once he comes to welterweight and get a title, he'll fight him. Well, he got a belt. You didn't fight him. Talking about you chasing Pacquiao. So you fought Mikey Garcia because he called you out. He had 135. I don't give a damn who called you out. He's at 135. We were like, well, we'll be cool with that money fight if you go ahead and fight a real fight. Then he beats up Sean Porter. Well, he don't beat up Sean Porter. He gets in a dog fight with Sean Porter. And Sean Porter really won that fight. This is a fight he was supposed to win walking away. He was supposed to win this fight walking away. But what happened, ladies and gentlemen? What happened? He's supposed to win this fight walking away. But tell the world what happened. He got in a dog fight with Sean Porter, and Sean Porter ended up winning the fight. And they raised Errol Spence's hand. He fought a welterweight, finally, and you seen what happened. Terrence Crawford comes from 135. Clinched the division and everything. Then his next fight, before his accident, he signs and schedules himself to fight who? Danny Garcia. Then he gets into an accident. Right? He gets into an accident. He comes back and fights Danny Garcia, who was 2-2 in his last 4 fights. Now he's 2-3 in his last 5 fights. But yet, Danny Garcia was the guy, right? That's what y'all finna tell me. Danny was the man. It's all about Danny. I like Danny Garcia at 140. But at 147 pounds, Danny Garcia really hasn't proven himself to be a welterweight. His power has not traveled up to 147 with him. This is like buffoonery. And people making excuses. The same thing they cried about, they're now making excuses for. When the people were doing this with Floyd, talking about some let's do this. With the negotiation with Pacquiao, y'all was losing y'all mind when Pacquiao was saying all these things. Now all of a sudden Errol Spence is saying these things. It's all good. Nope. What's good for the geese is good for the gander. Now they trying to steal the Pacquiao fight from Terrence Crawford. They trying to talk Pacquiao out of not fighting Bud, but fighting them instead. So for all them people who try to make it look like Mikey Garcia and Danny Garcia were the GOAT, were the boogeyman, I'm going to tell you this. You put Terrence Crawford in there with Mikey Garcia, what happens? Terrence stops Mikey. If you put Bud Crawford in there with Danny Garcia, Bud will stop Danny. I don't even know what that thing is called, the LDBC. But I think that's the Lions Den boxing thing, what 78 and them got, but they're going to have to wake up. They just find some people and just defend them no matter what. And make up all type of excuses. I thought you was standing for boxing. But if you standing for the fight, then all this nonsense can't stand. Like the Deontay Wilder nonsense, that stuff can't stand. I'm not in the excuse business. I'm in the results business. Well, maybe a few people. I think he got a victory in the amateurs. Well, they raised his hands, but there were a lot of people who got their hand raised in the amateurs who really didn't win. No, they keep cheerleading these bum fights. I'm holding PBC to the fire, and people like, dog, you cool with Floyd. You part of the money team. What is you doing? You can't be going against PBC. I'm like, if I see PBC not doing right, what the hell I'm going to do standing by it? That would make me the biggest hypocrite in the world. If I was to sit there and not say nothing when they doing this monstrosity that they trying to run, I'm like, what? Why would I sit there and be okay with all that? That ain't cool with me. The PBC, they see, as long as they all keep feeding into the nonsense, all these other people, Mikey Garcia and all these people, man, he has done nothing on his resume. If you look at Errol Spence's record, you will be like blown away at the fact that he gotten this far fighting nobodies. Errol Spence's whole career is sparring. Rumors about sparring with Adrian Broner and Floyd Mayweather. Oh man, he knocked Broner out in sparring. Oh, he gave Floyd a black eye in sparring. This dude is the truth. And they start calling him Errol the Truth Spence. He built up his whole career doing sparring. Errol is a good fighter. Don't get me wrong. He's good. He's not out of this world spectacular. He's good. But he's not Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is special. That's different. Sam, what better competition did he fight at 147? Come on, Sam, tell me. Let's go. Let's hear it. What's the better competition he faced? You just said it at 147. Let's hear it. Who did Errol fight at 147? He spent his whole career here. His whole entire career, except for a couple fights at 154. Who did he fight at 147? Exactly. Errol has fought no one at 147 that was better. Sean Porter, Brooke, Garcia, dude, go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Oh, now he's over the hill. But when Errol fought him, the guy had just come from having his orbital bone broken and just beaten down by Triple G and was on a losing streak. This Kell Brook had won 3 fights in a row, was in the best shape of his life, didn't have to lose 20 pounds to come down and fight. So Errol fought a better Kell Brook, who came in after having his orbital bone cracked, which led him to get the other one cracked because it wasn't all the way healed. That makes sense, Sam. And Sean Porter, really? Sean Porter? Now Sean Porter's a world beater? Sean Porter. This is what I'm talking about, people. Then you just threw Garcia's name in there. They're not even welterweights. This is what I'm talking about. People like Sam are the reason all of this is going on. Sean Porter is a tough test for anybody. No, he's a wrestling. That's the only tough thing is he's going to wrestle you. He's a stepping stone. Ugas had just whooped him the fight before. If Errol was a real fighter, he would have been fighting Ugas. Errol Spence would not fight Mean Machine. He wouldn't fight Benavidez. He wouldn't fight none of those guys. All of those guys that they fought right now would beat the last 4 guys Errol has fought. He fought Carlos Ocampos. Carlos Ocampos, dog? Really? Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, and Danny Garcia. Don't talk to me about Errol Spence no more. Don't talk to me about Errol Spence. Who we fighting next? Tank? Gervonta Davis? And you want to talk about Bud? Go look at who he beat at welterweight. So you tell me right now, Danny Garcia can beat Mean Machine? Mikey Garcia can beat Mean Machine? Better yet, Benavidez. Do you think they can beat Benavidez? Oh, he got one leg. With one leg, do you think they can beat Benavidez? I don't think they can, bro. I don't think they can. Sean Porter can maul everybody to death. Then you're dumb, Victor. You're really dumb. And they caught you in the whole trick bag. Errol Spence has fought no one at welterweight. No one. Understand this. PBC has been feeding him light welterweights because he can't fight guys his size or bigger. It's too dangerous. They thought Sean Porter was more his style. That's why they fed him to him. Ugas beat Sean Porter. But PBC wanted to make that fight, so they robbed him. You right, Bud ain't Errol, because Bud is special. Errol is not. Errol is simple and plain. He couldn't even get Danny Garcia out of there. He couldn't get Mikey Garcia out of there. What are we talking about, man? Y'all are really delusional right now. Can't y'all see this, the PBC formula? Damn. This is the PBC formula. Look at it. Leo Santa Cruz. Who he fought? Nobody's. First time he fights somebody since he beat up Admiral Mares twice. He fought Carl Frampton. He's 1-1 in that fight. Come on, man. Jonte Tank Davis. Who did he fight? Nobody. Won't fight the fights the people want to see. Gary Russell, none of them. Can't get those fights. Why we can't get that fight? Gary Russell Jr. should have been fought them. Can't get that fight made. Why? They want to keep doing the same fight over and over. PBC don't want to do nothing but feed you cupcakes. Cupcake fights. They build up bums and let them fight nobody. Then they put them against each other like, oh, it's mega fight. No, it's bum versus bum. Stop playing. Wake up, people. Damn. Y'all this stupid? Y'all don't see what's going on? Y'all can't tell a great fighter from a good fighter from an average fighter? It's ridiculous. Tank just knocked out a guy who's 2 weight classes below him. Jay, stop drinking when you watch the fights. Errol is not close to being the best. He's not close. Do you understand what I'm saying? He is one-dimensional. He telegraphs his punches. His defense isn't that great. Danny Garcia won the last rounds against him. What are we talking about right now? What do you even know what you sound like right now? That's ridiculous. He can't stop anybody. He can't really cut the ring off correctly. His footwork is decent, but it's not great. He's just bigger than everybody. So he's just walking through them. He's not going to walk through Terrence Crawford. I guarantee you that. Quentin Lee, you just said Mikey Garcia. Do you understand what you just said to me? You just said me Mikey Garcia, who's 135, that never had a welterweight fight before. Now you telling me about Mikey Garcia. Stay out of the conversation, Quentin. You just made yourself look really bad. You mentioned Mikey Garcia in this doggone conversation when we talking about greatness. And you just brought up Mikey Garcia fight. Canelo would knock Spence out. I would bet my house on that. Gary Russell Jr. is 130 pounds. What does he look like fighting Gary Russell Jr. at 147 pounds? That's an Errol Spence move. The reason why these fights don't happen is because of y'all. Y'all support the garbage. And y'all align yourself with people who are doing y'all wrong and robbing you. They charged y'all $75 to watch Errol Spence fight Danny Garcia, which should have been free on Fox or Showtime. And they charged y'all $75 for it. Instead of y'all being pissed off at PBC saying we ain't watching no more of this bull until you give us some real fights, I'm not supporting you. So for real, y'all the ones control the key to all this. Until y'all stop supporting the bull, they gonna keep feeding you trash. So I can't get mad at them for keep feeding y'all trash if y'all gonna keep eating it. Y'all eat the trash and run out and telling the people the trash is good. This trash is great. Errol Spence, man, he the best. Who he beat? Carlos Campos. Carlos Campos. That's why you can't get the fight. You got one guy that want to make the fight, and Bud Crawford, he want the fight. Errol don't want that fight. He know now he got, since the accident and since that fight with Danny Garcia, you see he ain't sure about himself. Yeah, that's why boxing is dying, because y'all keep doing all this nonsense, supporting these bums and not supporting real fights. They know y'all keep eating off the doggone garbage like y'all raccoons. Y'all gotta stop that. I want to see Canelo fight a middleweight or a super middleweight. I want to see him fight Beterbiev, one of those guys. Or Benavidez, some guys up there at that weight class. I want to see him fight Errol Spence. Y'all support them other bums, the Charlos. What have they done? Charlos ain't did nothing but get their butt whooped and sparring and everything and fight a bunch of bums. Jamal Charlo has done nothing. And he has fought not one great person at that weight class. Since he's been at middleweight, he's done nothing. Talking about he want Canelo. Funny how he say that after Canelo fight over. All he want to do is this, talk. Get on the internet. That's all PBC fighters do. They want to talk. Talk. I ain't never turned down no fight with Canelo. You a lying little punk, just like your other little lying punk brother. That's all y'all do. Charcoal brothers. Bunch of lying Instagram fighters. That's Jermell Charlo. Jermell fought Tony Harrison. And they only did it because Herb won by a knockout. So they took the fight and he lost the first one. And he was losing the second one even worse. And then they had him losing on the cards to show you that they was going to screw him over no matter what because he didn't sign with PBC. See, I know the politics, baby. We know the politics. We know the whole smear. Jamal Charlo, the one who got punked out by Danny Jacobs, who called him out when he was face to face. You saw him bow down then. When Danny Jacobs got in his face, he was, yeah, all that talking stopped, didn't it? And then Canelo offered you to fight instead of Danny Jacobs. He offered you Jamal Charlo, and your buddy Al Heyman, your advisor, advised not to take the fight, and they turned it down, and they paid you twice the amount that they paid for any fight you've ever been in. The Zone paid it. And y'all said nah. And fought who? Another bum. So I don't want to hear nothing about the Charlos. They're not serious. Until I see them fight. And let's talk about Jermell Charlo. Have you fought Laura yet? Have you fought Hurd? Why you haven't fought them? They in your weight class. How you the best and you ain't fought Jared Hurd? Huh? How you the best and you ain't fought Arislandi Lara? Hurd did your whole career in 1 year. You a bum. You ain't fought Demetrius Andre. None of y'all did. You or your brother. So I don't want to hear nothing y'all got to say. Y'all both some liars. And y'all both just punks that's getting by off the fact that y'all twins and y'all look alike. Gimmicks. I'm tired of this airbrush garbage, man. We got to call these bums out for being what they are. Bums. Some failed basketball players, athletic dudes who can't hoop or can't catch a football, want to go in the boxing ring. I want the Charlos to get a real fight. I want to see them in a real fight. Put them in a real bout. Put Jamal in there with a real middleweight. Let's see what's up. He gonna get folded. If he fought Canelo, Canelo ain't coming back to 160. That's over. He ain't gonna do that no more. That's over. So, yeah, man, we got to roll. So, it's been nice. I'ma holler at you. What's up? Yeah, I just had to let everybody know, man, because it was crazy earlier. Of course, Errol running. They all running. Now he doubt himself. So, that's all over. I'm out.